Chapter 1. The alarm split the morning silence with its insistent beeping. Heather King's hand shot out from beneath the quilt, silencing it with practiced precision before it could sound a second time. 5:30 a.m. She allowed herself exactly 3 seconds to stare at the ceiling of her garage apartment, gathering her thoughts before swinging her legs over the side of the bed and planting her feet firmly on the cool wooden floor. First day. Her first real day as Deputy Heather King. The thought propelled her to her feet. She padded to the bathroom, flipping on the light and confronting her reflection. Pale skin, scattered freckles, and those green eyes that her mother always said could see right through a lie. Her long red hair hung in sleep-tangled waves around her face. First day. First impression. She showered quickly, the hot water chasing away the last vestiges of sleep. With a towel wrapped around her, she returned to the bedroom and opened her closet door. The uniform hung there pressed, perfect, waiting. She'd prepared it the night before, just as she'd been taught at the academy. Attention to detail. Preparation. The foundations of good police work. As she dressed, her fingers traced the badge on her chest. There was something surreal about wearing it here, in the town where she'd grown up, the place that held both her brightest memories and her darkest loss. Her sister's face flashed through her mind. Kaylie, with her long brown hair and easy smile, so different from Heather's own serious demeanor. For years gone. The thought settled like a stone in her stomach, a familiar weight she'd learned to carry. A sound from the main house caught her attention, the distinct shuffle of her father's footsteps, followed by the softer tread of her mother moving to help him. Heather glanced at her watch. 6:05 a.m. Time to help with Dad's morning medication. She made her way down the external stairs and across the short path to the back door of her childhood home. The kitchen was warm and smelled of coffee. Her father sat at the table, his hands resting before him, trembling slightly with the early signs of his day's struggle. "Morning, firecracker," James King said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. His nickname for her since childhood, when her temper had matched her hair. "Morning, Dad." Heather leaned down to kiss his cheek, then moved efficiently to the medicine cabinet, retrieving the morning's dose. "Sleep okay?" "Well enough." He watched her organize his pills into the small plastic cup. Carbidopa/levodopa, amantadine, the vitamin B complex that the neurologist swore might help. "Look at you, Deputy King." Pride warmed his voice. Her mother entered, already dressed in the navy blue scrubs she wore for her shifts at the county hospital. Margaret King's hair, the same vibrant red as Heather's, though now threaded with silver, was pulled back in a practical bun. "There's my girls," James said, smiling at his wife. Maggie returned the smile, though Heather noted how it didn't quite reach her eyes, how it never quite had since Kaylie disappeared. "Breakfast in 5, she said, moving to the stove. "Can't have our deputy heading out without protein." Heather stood behind her father, her hands gently massaging his shoulders, a morning ritual that seemed to ease the stiffness in his muscles. She could feel the bones beneath his cardigan, more prominent now than before his diagnosis 2 years ago. "You don't have to do this every morning, you know," he said quietly. "I know." She continued the gentle pressure, working her way up to the base of his neck. "I want to." Her father had been there for her entire life, the steady, kind chemistry teacher who'd made science fascinating and the world seem logical and ordered. Watching his body betray him with early-onset Parkinson's had been its own kind of heartbreak, coming too soon after Kellie's disappearance. Things had gotten worse lately, and now that Heather had a position in town, she decided to move in with her parents to help out more with her dad. It was the very least she could do. Her mother placed plates on the table, eggs, toast, sliced fruit arranged with clinical precision. "Nervous?" she asked, studying Heather's face. "No," Heather answered automatically, then caught herself. "Maybe a little. It's different coming back as an officer," her mother finished for her. "I understand." But Heather wasn't sure she did. Coming back as an officer meant facing the department that had failed to find Kelly. It meant walking the same streets, wondering which houses might hold secrets about her sister. It meant purpose, not just grief. The three of them ate together, conversation flowing around mundane topics: her father's tutoring schedule for the day, her mother's hospital shift rotation, the unseasonably cool weather for early September. They spoke around the obvious, around the empty chair at the table where Kelly should be sitting, 22 years old now and likely complaining about early mornings. As Heather prepared to leave, collecting her keys and shouldering her bag, her mother caught her arm. "Heather." Maggie's voice had dropped, the professional nurse tone giving way to something more vulnerable. "Be careful out there." Heather recognized the fear behind the words, the terror of losing another daughter. She wanted to promise she would be safe, that nothing would happen to her, but they both knew better than to make promises they couldn't keep. Instead, she hugged her mother tightly, inhaling the antiseptic smell that always clung to her clothes. "I'll check in during my shift," she said. "Promise." Her father beckoned her over for his own goodbye. His handshake was firm despite the tremor. "Show 'em what you're made of, firecracker," he said, his brown eyes steady on hers. Heather nodded, throat suddenly tight. Then she was out the door, walking to her car with determined steps, trying not to look back at the house. The morning sun cast long shadows across the lawn, and for a moment, she could almost see the ghosts of Kelly and herself running through the sprinklers, almost hear the echo of their laughter. She slid into her sedan, placed her hands on the steering wheel, and took a deep breath. First day. She started the engine and pulled away from her childhood home, heading toward the county sheriff's department, where she would begin the job she'd been preparing for since the day her sister vanished.